Well, happy Brown Friday, everybody. It's a lovely dust-filled day. Oh, this sucks. So as I said, today's Friday. The wind started Thursday morning at about 1 a.m. All Thursday morning until about 8 a.m. It was wind of 40, gusts to 60. During the day, it calmed down a little bit to winds of 30, gusts to 40. Like, I even think it dropped into the 20s for a little while. Then about dark last night, it picked back up. Now this morning, we're back to winds of 35, gusts of 45. So, first thing on the agenda this morning is to get around to the farms, figure out where we have problem areas. I got the ripper hooked up a couple days ago in anticipation of this. I'm sure we have some dust starting to move, because unlike yesterday where there was just some dust moving here and there, today it looks like dust is moving everywhere. So, let's run around, see what we got. Okay, so here you can see the problem. That dust just running right across the surface. So what I've got is our disc ripper with the discs up, closing discs up, just trying to pull up whatever clogs I can. The problem is, what happens, we got a little bit of moisture on this, and then through the freeze thaw, that soil is just broke down, and now it's a powder on top. That powder blows easy. So you pull a ripper or a chisel or something like that through to just try and pull up some clods to stop the wind and stop the erosion. Not gonna lie, nothing pisses me off more than farmers whose farm is blowing and they do absolutely nothing to try and stop it. This is more valuable than can actually be measured. If you have no topsoil, you have nothing. And guys will bitch about the cost of fuel or running equipment out there, and I'm just like, man, you let your field keep blowing, it doesn't matter, because you're not going to have anything left. Oh. But enough ranting. This field, I'm getting pretty lucky so far. I'm able to get some pretty decent clods pulled up. It's pretty rough out here from being farmed this way the whole time, but with the wind out of the north, I got to go east and west to try and stop it. So this could be the start of a pretty long half day. The wind's supposed to start letting up just after noon, so we'll see what all we get done before then. Alright, so here's a really good view of what we got going on. So you can see all that dirt blowing. Look over there where I just did, straight in front of me. There's almost nothing blowing there. There's going to be some, you can't stop it all. But this is what I'm saying, you can stop a lot of this. You do every other pass, so that way the next time the wind blows this bad, you got a chance at doing this again. But to just sit back and do nothing pisses me off. Because it's just pure lazy, and it drives me nuts. So I'm sitting here talking to a couple of farmer buddies on Snapchat, and we're all getting pissed at it. Some of us are out here trying to do something, and then we got neighbors that aren't doing a damn thing about it, and it's just, it's aggravating. Oh, alright. Moving on. Alright, so here again, a real great example. It's hard to see around the dust the tractor's making. Versus, voila! And I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself and making these little clips. I don't remember what I've said to who. I've been on the phone non-stop, between phone calls, ranting and raving on Instagram, talking to other farmers on Snapchat, trying to just figure all this out. What haven't I talked about? What haven't I talked about? I believe I already talked about we only do every other pass. So that way, if this happens again, you have more strips available to do. The reason this is happening is because of a failed crop. Anytime, hang on, let me hit something on my phone. Sorry, it's hard to talk when all of a sudden there's voices in my head. So the reason that dust blows, two reasons. Failed crop / bad tillage, or overgrazed ground. What I am having to work on is sprinkler corners. Our fields are holding great. We have yet to find a single field of ours that is blowing. It's all sprinkler corners. The reason the sprinkler corners are blowing is because of my screw up. I failed my farm ground last summer. We've had great luck planting wheat in our sprinkler corners, catching a little bit of moisture in the fall and winter. That wheat will come up. Next year you swath and bale off a decent crop of weeds / wheat. The problem is between sprayer tracks, planter tracks, baler tracks, truck tracks, our corners were getting incredibly rough. We are also starting to notice in our area a lot of weed resistance from chemical usage. So the thought process I had was, let's sweep the corners to A, kill off the weeds without spraying them, limit our chemical usage to our productive farm ground, not less on our unproductive farm ground. Also, the sweep would get rid of ruts. It would also loosen that top bit of ground for better water penetration. Because these corners, year after year after year of no tillage on them, they get pretty hard. It sounded great in theory. Problem is, after I swept them there in July, you guys saw the video of that, we didn't hardly get any more moisture. We had one little rainstorm that put us out of commission for a few days there in, what was that, September, when we were harvesting? Rain / snow, actually. And that's really been the only measurable moisture we've had since. We've had showers come through and you get a couple hundredths, maybe a quarter of an inch, maybe. Here's a really powerful wind gust that makes what you're doing not so productive. I can tell where I've been and where I'm turning up here is where it's blowing the worst. But without the moisture, the wheat never germinated. Well, it did germinate, but did not get the ground cover. Then the little bit of moisture we've had mixed with freeze thaw has caused that top bit of ground to turn that really mellow powder, and that's what's blowing. So it is a failed crop. That is on me. I am out here trying my damnedest to fix that problem. The other problem is completely out of my control. Overgrazed farm ground and pasture. These cattlemen, they have, and you know, I'm a cattleman too. It is what it is. You have cattle, they have to eat something. You get in drought conditions, the grass quits growing. Whatever cover crop you had them grazing quits growing. Unfortunately, you just get stuck and you wind up leaving your cattle longer than you know you should. All of a sudden, we hit winter and the ground they were on starts blowing. There's a lot of that around. It happens every year. Something gets overgrazed. Cattle, horses are really bad about it because they'll have a few acres. They just on and non-stop and turn the whole thing to powder. It's one of those, it is what it is. I wish there was a better prevention. I mean, truly the prevention is get the cattle off of there, but at the same time, where do you take them? Do you just sell them? Do you give up? You know, it's not a cut and dry answer on that one. But there is a solution. Get out there and try to do something. So this is sprinkler corner number 3. I think I have 3 more that we found we're going to go work on. I just wish I saw some more neighbors out here trying to do the same thing. It's getting really frustrating, but it is what it is. I guess I will enjoy their topsoil that deposits in these furrows. Alright, that's enough of a rant. Catch up with you guys here in a little bit. Another thing I ought to mention, another reason that this becomes such a problem from farmer to farmer, relationship wise, as you can see, the sprinkler is green, well, kind of green. It's at least got cover, it's not blowing. My corner is blowing. Now, if this was 2 different farmers, this dirt is blowing, and as you can see here at the edge, it's burying it. And if you can see the white wheat, that's electric shock. It is killing it through static electricity from this dirt sifting across the ground. If you've never felt it, I don't know how to describe it, but days like this, when the wind is really howling and that dirt is just shearing across the ground, you can feel the static in the air. And when it hits that wheat, it will literally shock it and kill it. And that is where you start to get a lot of problems farmer to farmer. You know, say the neighbor across the road's field is blowing, mine isn't. If he does nothing to stop his, mine is going to get electric shock, and then just over time, that sand moving across or dirt moving across is going to start burying it and start killing further and further out into my field. So you could have a great field slowly die because your neighbor isn't stopping his dirt from blowing. This is a problem we ran into, what was it, 2012, 2013, the last time we went through one of these crazy droughts. And I have a feeling it's a problem that's going to start coming up again this winter, because there is a lot of fields that are holding on for dear life. There's a lot of bare dirt that people just aren't stopping. So we'll see how this continues. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. That's 7 corners worked between 5 and 7 acres each, puts us in the 35-45 acre range. I'm tired, I'm wore out, it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm ready to go find me a frosty beverage and a dark hole to go hide in for the rest of the day. So, with that being said, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Pray for rain, because this drought is impacting a huge area of the plains. California is having trouble like always, the plains. And this drought is slowly spreading its way east towards the Corn Belt and the southeast. So pray for rain. With that, we'll talk to you guys in the next video. Make sure to give this one a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. See you guys later.